Hi, and welcome to Mommy Diaries. We talk about all things motherhood, parenting, and the journey ya ho hodisa bana ba rona. Kasheko, I am so starstruck. I am so excited. Ha ke tsamaye ke le mong ke tsamaya le Shoki. Ke o Shoki or o type it tse kwatang ha re sa re o Shoki Mmola. O tla lokisa.
Ke tla re se Shoki.
Okay, introduce yourself.
Dumelang batho ba hae. Re tlile mona mo ho positive parenting. Re tlo bua ka botswadi not matswele re tlo bua ka botswadi and all things good about parenting. Ke nna Shoki Mmola, and here with me is Mapaseka Kwetli.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Normally when I ask people here, how are you? They always say they are good.
I'm sexy, I'm fine,
Thank you.
I'm soft, and how are you? Oh, and I'm very well paid. How are you?
I'm sexy. I'm soft and hard at the same time. And
Like an egg.
And I'm in a good space.
I like that for you.
Yeah.
We
I'm
like
in a very,
spaces.
Yeah. I'm in a
Dibaka ne?
Dibaka. So obviously, when I was looking for someone I can have a chat with on a Women's Month, you came up. And the reason why I'm saying you came up to
Just because I'm a woman?
No.
Oh,
you came up, not in a conversation, but in my mind. Because obviously we've spent time together, number one. I got to know you, number two. Number three, I just love your relationship with your kids.
Oh, they abuse me. Oh, gosh. They abuse me.
Motherhood. What does motherhood mean to you? Have you always wanted to be a mom?
Yes. I wanted to be a mother of 5. Well, I stopped at 2. Age worked against me. But I've always known that I was going to be a mother. I've always known that I've got a lot of love to give. And I'm a nurturer. Naturally, I am a nurturer. I mean, Har Khalifa, we were, sure, how many grandchildren? Probably over 15. We grew up Kotladi. Now, my grandmother, the reason why we were over 15 is because my grandmother had 8.
Got you.
There were 8 girls and 1 boy, so there were 9. So most of the grandchildren, we all lived at my grandmother's place because schools were closer and it was easier that way to manage. So I, being one of the older kids, would nurture. I would cook. I would make sure everybody's homeworks are done. And you get used to that. It becomes part of your personality. And that's who I am. I want 5. Okay, I have to. No.
Now your upbringing, like, paint a picture for me on how you grew up.
My mom had me very many years ago. She was young. She was 17, I think, going on 18 when she had me. And it was during 76, the riots and everything. They relocated, met my father, hanky-panky, then here I am and arrived. And a couple of months later after I arrived, then my mom got married to someone else, not to my dad. So naturally, I stayed behind with my grandparents because they said, no, I would say I was very well taken care of. I mean, my grandfather treated me like an egg. My grandmother was the one that I would say iron-fisted now, but not quite. But she was strict.
Yeah.
So I got to learn a lot of things while I was young. I mean, we were not very well off. If anything, we're very borderline poor.
Okay.
But so you learn to be resourceful.
Yeah.
You learn to make things happen on your own and understand that, look, if I don't get off my ass, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
So that is the kind of upbringing I know. I mean, playing around with the boys, that's where most of my masculinity comes from. I'm sure you've seen.
I know it,
That I fall more on the boyish side. And I grew up with boys, played all kinds of games that boys would play, and I identify a lot with boys.
Yeah. And where was this?
This is Kotladi, Soweto.
Oh,
Yes.
Soweto.
Yes.
And then where did the love of acting come from? Like,
Obviously
you were born with it. I'm going to give it to you. You were born with it. But when did you realize, absolutely, this is what I want. I want nothing else. This is what I want to do.
I'm in standard 3, Kolichibulo, still Kotladi. and there's a group of bana ba standard 5 that need to compete for read competitions. Now, read competitions was strictly devised for children that are gifted in poetry or drama, performance art.
Yeah.
And I did not qualify. However, when people my age would then, school comes out and they go home, I would stay behind and watch and marvel at these kids as they're busy rehearsing their scripts. Now, I think Mem Machaba got bothered with the fact that I didn't want to go home. And one of the kids that were cast in her show fell ill. Now, and then she was like, I've been seeing you. You stand at the door and you watch. Do you want to join the group? Because we need... But it was their lead. So, fast forward... we go to the competition, we win, and I never stopped. I mean, I did it when I was in standard 3. Did you experience the standards? Or are you the grade group? Anywho.
OBE. That's my curriculum, yeah, OBE.
So from standard 3 all the way to standard 5, I did it. But it was not something I was going to do. I knew I enjoyed it, but I didn't know you could have a career out of it. Yeah. Only when I was in at Verts and I was studying to become a chemical engineer, and I met Lillian Dube. Go Carlton Center. Now, every time after our lessons from campus, we would all walk to Carlton Center because Carlton Center was the playing ground. That's where you meet the boys. So,
it was Melville. That's where we saw the boys.
Go Melville.
Hey, go 7. Yes. Right. Give us the walk changes.
The voice here changes.
Hey, the walk. Oh.
So Kiko Carlton Center, and Mam Lily sees me. So I'm putting on do you model, and I said no. Wa actor I'm going to be a chemical engineer. She says, there's a new series that's going to come up. At that time, I'm 16.
What?
I started school early.
Okay.
So, and I don't know what this thing is. I mean, people in TV are not really alive.
No, they're not real.
No, because how like Amrawa TV, you don't find them. So they can't be real.
Yes.
So and I go and I audition and I get the job.
Which show was this?
What? Now, first language ko sekolong ke Sepedi. If I have been exposed to Setswana through Bomatswakabele on TV, you understand. I suppose the advantage was that the Sotho languages are very close to each other. I mean, Setswana, Sepedi, Sotho.
That's why.
Yes. So I got that, and it happened, and I realized on the job that I love this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you continue with the chemical engineering?
Yes, I did. I finished chemical engineering. Never used it because when I completed my course, now I was supposed to go do in-service training.
Yes.
Anglo-American was funding my fees, and they were saying, okay, as soon as you finish, you need to do in-service training, but we can only fund you for transport and your lunch. So I'm thinking, work for free. I took the next show to Grahamstown and I never came back. From Grahamstown, I did another show called Cape Town, stayed there, came back, and I met Sepo Maseko along the way as we were doing these shows, and it was like, go Pretoria Tech, you could actually study this thing because you obviously love it.
Yeah.
It's like, you can study for this? So I went, auditioned to go to UT. It was Pretoria Tech at the time, and got signed up immediately. I was registered and took all my money that I had worked for
years,
threw it in my course.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then here you are.
And here I am.
Now, motherhood. Since you've always wanted to be a mom, and then now it happens. The first day you told her pregnant, take your firstborn. Take us through that. How did you feel? And how was your pregnancy?
How did I find out?
I know it's a while ago.
My wife also. Must we really be like this?
It's a teenager.
What happened? Oh, Nekelo Komobango when I found out I was pregnant with Oratile. it was a shock. It was a surprise. But for some reason, Mapasek, I've always known that I was going to be a mom.
Yeah.
So, Mara, I did not think it would happen like that.
I
You
get
think there will be a sign. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And now here she is. I'm right in the middle of an A story. Go Mobango. And I go to Ntate Dume and I say, just found out I'm pregnant. I'll probably push for another 3 months. But the moment I start showing, please can you write me out? I resign. Says, no, Mara, we can carry on. Ngwana itlaba wa Begi. Begi was the husband character. And I said, no. And I said, no, I batlo actor ka my pregnancy and I batlo ngwana ka be mo TV. She'll have to choose if she wants to do this. And that's how I walked out of Mobango. And Oratile arrives. Hey, did you know? You're a mom. Hangwana afeto hlaha. The first couple of days, there's that constipation thing that happens. Yes. You eat, Mara, you don't go.
You don't go to the toilet. Yes.
I thought I was dying because remember, my mom lives far away.
Yes.
I was raised by my aunt.
Yes.
My aunt, Wadereka, she's a nurse. She works 7 to 7. She hardly ever sees me. I was already married. And in that thing, where do I get immediate information from? Yeah. I bought books. Google was not so much at the time.
Yeah.
So I bought pregnancy books. I would read up everything. I had all kinds of pregnancy books. I knew her, okay, if because I found out at 12 weeks now, remember. But every month, okay, what's developing?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then
so it's not like now where there's TikTok, there's Google, but now how important it is to have that motho autusa ho basitswetsi, because you realize we know our mothers are important. We know that we need our mothers, or motho, but once you have a child, that's when you realize, understand because you do need help.
You do need help. And when you don't, that's why people will fall into postnatal depression. Because I almost fell in there because I did not have the support I needed.
Yeah.
My aunt was never there. And also gates. Ne ke ituletse nna ko ntlong ya ka ya ngwana a fihla ba re no etla molao o re tshwanetse re robe ya, but she was never there. She was working, and I insisted on using cloth nappies. Ne ke rata bo steering. And ne se le teng di
Pampers, of course.
In that thing ya ha na ke batla se bisa lesela ke batla the moment ngwana ka ha shapa number 1 a tsebe a scream ke mo change ka speed, you know what I mean? My thoughts are le la lesela le sa ngwana hla feeling. Then they're able to tell the difference of when they're dry and when they're not.
When they're not. Unlike highly, it's
then
observe.
They go, Mara, they don't feel the results. So I would have to wake up every morning or the books say during the day when the baby sleeps, you're also supposed to take your nap. I could not do that. Because when that baby's sleeping, I need to be prepping her meals for her. You understand? So I really, really felt it. I could not wait to go back to my home. Because then I could accept, okay, Shoki, you're on your own.
You're on your own.
Nahana being on your own, onahana rona le support. Or expect you to support and you don't get it.
Yeah.
So that I needed to toughen up. By toughening up, I mean realizing things need to be done and they will be done by you. Yeah. And this baby deserves a happy mom. They did not ask you to go hanky-panking. And you said, God, I want 5. And this is the first.
Yeah.
So show up. I also remember there was an audition that came. I think Oratile was about 5 months old. And then Nani keep little, no, I'm not gonna work, raise this child until they are 4, and then go back. And then I'll go back to work. Naga banka. Naga banka. If there's anyone else about pata chalete, it's me.
Yes.
But I was okay with that. I was gonna be okay. And now my agent at the time calls me and says, look, they are casting for Maru, go market theater, and they asked to see you. Here's a baby. Sure. I take my baby Ke ya le ena ko tladi, ke lo mo siya le my cousin. That baby cried. That baby wailed and wailed. There I am walking out the yard. I can hear her. But I like this. I made and I turned around.
You didn't go?
I took my baby, put her on my back, went to Market Theatre, auditioned with my baby on my back.
What?
I think at that moment, I realized, Shoki, me, and this thing is attached to you, and there's nothing you can do. I got the job. Lara, I don't know what she saw. Lara Food was auditioning.
Yeah.
And I got the call, but no, they want to see you for the character, Dike lady. Come back, what. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that. This show is going to travel. My baby's still young. I'm still feeding. So, no, I quit. I was like, no, I'm not coming. They must audition somebody else. And yeah, the second job I got took me with my baby. That was Death of a Queen.
Wow.
I went on location because we were shooting on location.
Yeah.
They said, Shoki, I auditioned for Death of a Queen, Kile highly pregnant.
Got you.
I don't know what they saw. They saw past the stomach. And I then said, no, look, I'm going to raise my child at least until remember, this is the conversation before the Maru story. I want to stay home for at least 9 months, and then maybe I can do
start,
things.
yeah.
You know, they waited.
Wow.
If it's yours, it's not going to miss
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
If it's yours, it's not gonna miss you.
Yeah. When the line producer was Vesco comes to my house with a contract and everything. It was my contract, my working contract. And I said, no, you need another contract. I want my child to be in the contract. I need you to insure my child. I need you to insure the nanny. And that was actually, guys, if you do not have family to help you, get yourself a trustworthy nanny. Because you need eyes, you need ears, you need a body there.
You need a body there, yeah. Unless if you are a housewife or a stay-home mom.
When I was shooting on location, my baby was there. I mean, there were times when I would be doing the voiceover. You know, I'm taking over your show. Onyaka ubulela.
Someone commented on one of the interviews, the way Pasi I want too much. This is the first time Ramona answer. Right. You know, podcaster ba deep. I'll be your.
I mean, one of the things that I needed to do, like a small job, like a voiceover doesn't take you away the whole day. I would call my brother and I would ask him to come over and wear my gown, and I would put on my body spray. And he would sit there and wear it. This is when the baby was still really, really small.
But you know, the amounts or the way we sacrifice for our kids. I mean, imagine turning down a job for your child. You didn't do it for yourself. That cry. Even though are safe, it feels like
you're neglecting
them. And it's not. It's so painful. It's like, oh my God.
And it's a catch-22 on its own. Do you see what you just said now? And what we basically picking up on what I have said and what you are saying is you you reject a job to stay home with your child. Their child, so you constantly need to be juggling the bank account or can I afford to say no to this job? Because at the end of the day, that formula does not come for free. Divested do not come for free.
No,
they don't buy themselves.
No, they don't. They don't. Yeah,
it's quite a tricky one.
It is. It is. And then the second born, it was a breeze, I'm sure.
The second born. Yes, I was already experienced in this whole motherhood thing. There's this guy, he's a caterer for a lot of TV productions. I almost cost him his job. You would think you know the signs when you're pregnant. Now, breakfast, I was at Rhythm City. I was casting director for Rhythm City at that time. And I had so much time in the office. not really doing much, just looking
Yes.
for actors.
Yes.
And that don't know what le breakfast high body leng ho ya ka nna. Ne Raja, cheesy ena does not smell like cheese.
Ya nkgelampi.
Ke a ja ke a di khutlisa. Ke ya ko officing ke ra wa motho le nna o nya ka re poison. Nanga se khone. Cheese ya motho e bodile. Cheese ya motho o e bodile. And because e bodile nna ke tlhatsitse, you really need to think about Hati Karabo what? Karabo, with her I had it was easier, but they're 2 years apart. Now, oratile sa le ngwana, o santsa batla lerato la ngwana. Now here's another one. O tlameleng a thole lerato o moja.
Yes.
So I think from that, I remembered how, you know, when you're young, but hi man mapa se ka tlola ntho o etsang so le moholo. Why we get ngwana?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
I constantly needed to remind myself, or don't at any point say to oratile, tloela o etsa ntho o etsang o moholo, ngwana ke o.
No.
Because it builds resentment.
It does. I was about
between
to say
siblings. Eba le ntho ela ya hore o favor o mong,
Yeah.
because oratile would cry.
Yeah.
Ha ke kukile karabo.
Yeah.
Le ena o nyaka palama. I got used to, okay, karabo is on my back, oratile is in my hands, or vice versa. Oh, sorry. And everywhere mo ke tsamayang ba shebane so. A ke re ke tla ba ku. O ka mo mokokotlo,
So
ba shebane.
ona ha feeling lesser than the other one. Yeah.
And understand, or everything needs to come in doubles. Even to juggle that thing, oratile o hodile ka pela, she's but my girls are tall.
Yeah.
So they quickly grew out of their clothes.
Yeah.
And let this thing, ola
Usiela
o diaparo. Yes, I did it. And then after a while, I noticed it, and I was like, no, but it means karabo life ya ka fela tlo apara di hand downs. No, I'd rather buy 2 of the same thing, because ole o tlo bona o apere musu ona ba re o montle le nna ke a batla. Buy 2.
That's
Buy
true.
2 toys.
Yeah.
Buy 2 balloons.
Yeah.
You understand?
And I think we take for granted that whole thing of sibling resentment.
Yeah.
And it qala ka batswadi. When the kids are still young. Hey, you know these comments re di etsang le gona, yo Shoki o montle go eta.
Yes.
Oh my God, can people stop that?
Yeah.
When siblings are there, Oscar, you can say, oh, Ragadu montle. Don't say,
Yeah.
this one is prettier
yeah.
than the other one, or
Yes.
the other sibling is darker than the other one. Ooh, mansu
Why one?
we don't see what these things do to our kids up until you
Yes.
get old. Now you start having this weird resentment more sibling. How can it's about what people were saying, because people don't understand what they do with their words.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We grew because then I remember growing up. I still think my sister's prettier than me. Ne?
What?
Yes, but not in a. Not for I'm comparing.
Yes.
I think she's the most beautiful girl. But growing up, they used to say Rachadi's prettier than me.
That's where it's coming from.
So it's
there.
coming from that.
Yes.
Yo, bana ba ga Susan. Hey, bana ga Susan. Mara ke mona. Oh, hello. Wabon. But I don't think it created any resentment. But I always thought, I know she's prettier than me. But you would get it a lot when we were young. Tshwanela go feta. And I'm like, why do people? I would never do that. Obviously, I have one child, but when she is with my niece, I'm not gonna say, shh, the other one is. Just about 2 le bantle jwang. Full
Yes.
stop.
And that's also another thing. Like, tell your children where they shine. Tell
them.
Or
Yeah.
you shine in this. Of course, we don't want them to live in this bubble where they think they're amazing in everything. But
Yeah.
tse o di bonang hore they shine.
Yeah.
Ko tsona. Compliment that.
Yeah.
And it's all bonang hore ba shine mo tsona. Or, actually, this is probably not your thing, but I know where you shine.
Yeah.
Then they understand it, or okay, if mama reng ha ke shine it that much ko yona, ke a e rata, then they invest in that. They invest in making it better. Or they let it go and
Absolutely.
stop stressing themselves over things that dimpo ha di tshwane.
Hadiswan.
O kila
Yeah.
bona. And making them understand that, especially when they become teenagers and they become more competitive, that you need to be wary of that. And even the choice of words.
The choice.
Because you can say one thing, but in many different ways, in ways that can build or ways that can destroy. Teenagehood, which is where they are now, is a very tender age where it basically molds the type of adult you would like to see going forward.
Yeah.
So you need to try and get it right now. If you don't get it right, at least work towards it.
Yeah. Now the journey, now they both hear the journey of raising those two beautiful girls. How was it, or how is it?
They
Well,
like each
from-
other,
from-
and I'm cool with that.
Oh.
They like each other. School-wise, remember when I was saying everything came in twos, and I've got Oratile that is more academic. I've got Karabo. Wow, Karabo is academic and creative. You understand? So we try to balance, and with Oratile, I don't worry much. I can see that she has identified the direction that she wants to take.
Got you.
Now, Karabo is me. Karabo wants to do everything.
Okay.
And because of that, my fear has always been she will dabble in everything and not follow anything through. So my main mission now has been, I see you like this. Please invest in it. Please perfect it. Please try and make it better. And it's okay to have 5 different gifts and like 5 different things and want to do 5 different things.
Yeah.
Do them well.
Yeah.
And satisfy yourself. Do them in such a way that you sit back and say, I fucking killed it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we grew up, man, ntho e one, kgetha e one.
Khetha iwan,
You know what I mean?
And you're right. You don't know
You lose
yourself.
focus.
You lose
Yes.
focus. Yeah.
You do not, or I would like to think that everybody's blessed with more than 6 talents.
Absolutely.
And if you can pursue all of them, why not? God did not give them to you so you can waste them.
Or sit on
So,
them. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now, where you compliment them where it's due. And where is not worth complimenting, you encourage.
Yeah.
And more you tell them, actually, I don't think until so rather throw your energies on that thing. If it's really, really what you want, then get like support. Right now they're at a point where they're making career choices, and even that they change every month. And
Of course.
they change. Mara, I've put myself in a position along where whatever new idea is coming in August or September, I'll support it.
Yeah.
Only if you show me that you're going to work towards achieving that thing. I don't care how many times you change your mind.
Always support. And being a single mom, raising 2 amazing girls, how has that been?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
I guess I want to take a ice cream one. You know what I mean? I was that teenager. I started working when I was 16. Bona. There was a shop, cause a small street.
Yes.
Maybe it's a LA company. I think Boom Shaka used to shop there because they sold the Brandia Buffalo and all these brands, study platform shoes. Bona. I go there and like, okay. I still have the, and actually those things were proper. Because today and they've come back and I get to wear them.
Yeah.
So, ne ke kgona go tsoa through, ke chill and be like, hi man, ke nyako ya Gold Reef Seat. Phonela chomi. Hi ya Gold Reef Seat. You know what I mean? So I'm not able to do that. For everything eke yetsa ntlamele ke plan hore okay. Ka tšhelete e ke e tshwereng. Now we're talking finances, because finances really control which school you take your children to, what clothes they're going to wear, what the type of food, basically the standard of living that you're going to have.
Yeah.
So everything splits in 3 now.
Of course, it's the 3 of you.
It either divides by 3 or multiplies by 3.
Yes.
When you want to go on holiday, you want to give them a proper getaway. You need to plan.
Yeah.
December holidays, I start planning June. Okay, by the time December feels this and this and that must be in place.
Yeah.
This one, career path high is going to cost me more than this one. I need to make sure there's leverage for all of them.
Yeah.
This one has an expensive clothing taste than this one. And I do want them to get the things that they want because ke a bereka.
Yeah.
And I keep at least tse emetseng hore di please bana ba rona ka ntho tse rona re hlolang ho ba why one so if you can do it, give it to them.
Yeah.
Le teng mara, you while you're busy doing that, you also want to teach them more. Everything you need, I'll make sure you get, but not everything you want you'll get.
Yes.
O tlamelo hopola tse ding o tla khona if it's a want, how e batla o tla e thola mara not all the time,
yeah.
and not all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just had a conversation we've right now. Le Oratile, she's going on matric dance. And she was telling me Oratile has a gorgeous afro. And undlela ka picture. That weave is probably 5K. Ke ra o wa sesi.
Mama hey ke celebrity. Mama ke celebrity. Tlamela thole week.
Okay. So, ke ra ke weave ya 5K ona le meriri. Let's try and motivate this.
Yes.
You see, right?
Yes.
And hodima ha meriri o tlamelo thole
stylist, yeah.
Ha qeta o thola stylist, motho o batla masale, o batla lipstick,
everything lashy.
Yes. You understand?
Yes.
So those are the things. So tlamelo o mmontshe hore there's actually, you don't bophelo ba hao ka se change house na weave.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a want.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
But this is 5K.
Do you think it's our fault? Like, because do we influence them in a way that, because I don't remember now wanting a wig, obviously, at the time when I went for matric dance, because I never saw my mom wear a weave or a wig. So do you think it's our fault in terms of like the type of hairstyles that we do? We have the options of wearing wigs and not wearing wigs. Because I see with Nema, I did this hairstyle on my head because of her. And we did a matching hairstyles because she has I don't know what wigs did to her, but she's got issues with wigs because she thinks I'm the most prettiest when I don't have a wig and makeup. So I wonder, like, do you think if you didn't have your sometimes days where you wear wigs, would she want them? Or now obviously the social media, there's a lot of factors and things that that influence our kids.
When I always say when they are younger, they want to be more like us. And when they get older, when they become teenagers, they want everything. They want to be anything but not you. I doubt I would be the one influencing them. I think they're being influenced by the world.
The world.
Yes.
Yeah.
No teenager wants to look like them. Believe me. They like us.
No, but we cool.
Believe me.
No,
they like
Shoki.
us, but,
no.
I promise you.
Teenagers, don't you guys want to look like us? But I hear what you mean.
Yes. Up to a certain age, they idolize you. And then after that age, they respect you, but
they see mama.
They see mama.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think it's really social media and what's cool out there and what is deemed appropriate for certain occasions, and it has absolutely
hence the
nothing
wig
to
is
do as a
5,000.
parent.
It's just a wig, a cool wig. That's why that wig is 5,000.
Yeah. I mean, why if na harre ona idolize na ke re nka ba shopile from tseletse ke nang le tsona.
Absolutely, you're right. We bone kai e ya installation ya 5,000 to wena o sa diking.
Exactly.
I hear you. What kind of conversation? Because when I look at you and your daughters, you remind me of my mom, my sister. Like Lorna's always been the three of us against the world. And I also see how my mom is so possessive over us because she feels like she did it by herself because my dad
Naya ko skolong a tsamaya ka
una lata batho ko skolong
I'm
mama ka ke batho ba le ba hore ha le sale o shapile eng mama una lata batho ko skolong ne ba sa mo tseba hore mme o le apostola o le ke o tla ka sepika was tseba speaker sa zogo se a se beile mo a lata batho. And when the older I got, the more I realized hore mme wa ka o sotlehile haholo raising us, and I understand why she was
the way she was.
Are you like that? Are you like that?
I am.
I think so.
Oh
You born fair.
From primary school. Oratiles mom is at the game. My thing has always been kiruta bana ba ka hore ba ska lwana.
Right.
Kiruta bana ba ka not to bully.
Yeah.
And if they come back home and they've been bullied, maybe by a teacher, maybe by another child, and nna ba ka ke ba rutile hore ba ska etsa jwalo, because I'm not going to go to the same child. Okay, we don't bully people. We do not fight.
Got you.
You understand?
Got
So
you.
I'm that mamotong kan lepanta. Ke tlo lemela ko gate. Ke tlo emela.
O utlwe story ke.
Ke utlwe story ke eng ko rome ko batswading ba hao. A ke re ba hao batswadi ha ba ruti hore we don't bully, we don't fight.
Yeah.
Wena o shapa baka.
Yeah.
So ke kopa hore ha ile hore ba tlo paisa. Ya mo ha le papa hao ba tlo bua leng.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand? Because o ka se rutulle ngwana ntho o mo rutileng yona. And I think I missed what you really wanted to ask me.
I forgot.
So
Okay, I'll move on to the next question. The conversations you have.
oh yes, that's actually what you wanted. Yeah, the conversation. We at a stage where we talk about sex. We talk about family planning. We talk about different kinds of love. They've started dating now. Oh yeah, mabaseka nna ke tsena koloing ke a mo isa ngwana ko dating. I will not have ngwana o tlo utswang skia hore a tsaka gate and then a tla nyonyobe. I will not have that.
Because after all, they are gonna date, whether you
They're
like it or
going
not.
to do it. And if o tlo tswa kenya ka bona re o tsamaile le ngwana mang, they know the mandate is I want the picture of the boy. I want the phone number of the boy. If they can provide the address, I want the address of the boy, or i.e. I want the phone numbers of the parents.
Yeah.
And because I'm not going to go to police station ke re ha sa le ngwana a ile konteng ba mpotsa all these things ha ke di tsebe, and I look like a fool.
Yeah.
So I do go ha ba go di dating sa bona, I park in the parking lot and I invest a good 3 hours. I go there with a book or
Yeah.
and I wait ba tsamaye ba lo sheba di movies tsa bona or go for whatever ba lo dlala ko di arcade and I sit and I wait.
Yeah.
And I make sure the boy sees my face and I'm like, look, if my child comes back crying because of you, I'm going to break your ankles.
That's okay.
Because I would like to think, Mapaseka, people treat us the way the people that love us treat us. If people that love you fuss over you, and I come in and I want a love relationship with you, I'm going to fuss over you. But if I see that no, you won't. So that boy needs to know loves this and Michael.
Yeah.
So I cannot sidestep when it comes to this one.
And you spoke about like now that they're dating and we see what's happening out there with vultures who are preying on young beautiful girls and whatnot. So because of some of us, we grew up without our fathers, present fathers. You'll hear stories about the daddy issues and whatnot. I don't think I had daddy issues because my mom, I'm not saying my mom was my mom and dad, but I don't remember having daddy issues. But I just know that I related to men differently because my dad was never there. So what conversations do you have with them just to make sure, not to make sure it doesn't happen, but to make sure that they know that they're enough, whether their dad is present or not. They know that they're enough and they must know that this is how a man should treat you and this is how a man should not treat you, because there's no example of that in the house.
You know, I think we need to give our teenagers credit. They, amidst everything else that they do, they're smart.
Very.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where the daddy issue thing comes from, because the same story that how you putting it out there, that you never felt like you had daddy issues. I never felt like I had daddy issues. Look, you cannot miss something you don't know.
What are daddy issues?
I don't know, because I never knew my dad. I only met my dad when I was 32, married with 2 children.
Yeah.
I cannot miss something I do not know. There was this thing that we would do. Station. I'm going to go back to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain why I say you can't miss something you don't have. I would do my uniform, Mirafi station. Cabbage. So I get cabbage would come with like hard leaves on the outside and it's softer on the inside. They chop off those ones.
Those ones, yes.
Those are the ones I would pick up. And I take them home, we wash them, I boil them, I turn them, and then I sun dry them.
Yeah.
We're going to have that kapap.
Eh.
Now, later in life, when I started working and everything, and I'm exposed to McDonald's and all of that, and my aunt said, because my aunt raised me, and she says, I remember when we're really struggling, we're poor. I was like, we're poor? She's like, yeah, don't you remember? We used to feed on papa ka makara cabbage. You know, I never felt like I was poor.
Because that's
I
all
was
you
just
knew.
fine.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. I was not exposed to steaky, lamb shank. I didn't know what that was, so I didn't miss it. So that's how I look at it. Even with me not having my father present in my life, I don't think when I met my husband, I saw my dad. I was missing my dad.
I'm not laughing, but I hear you because that's how
when I got
that's
married,
how
I
they
was getting
explain
married
it.
to a man.
A man,
Yes.
yeah.
And I listen to how the girls talk now, and they're okay. And I'm very strict about that, Ibile. When every time how they live Father's Day, they used to do it because their friends would do it, and they say
Happy Father's Day to
my
Mama.
mom. And I said no, I
Yeah.
never wanted to be a
And they will
father.
come for us this year. We want to go social media. But hey, please,
Bare,
sisters,
please, that
Emanya.
And Mara, it's true,
It is
Mapaseka.
true.
You're
It
a
is
gorgeous
true.
woman. You're a gorgeous mom.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be a father?
I get father.
You are not a
Yeah.
father. There are things that make a father who he is.
Yes.
And I tell them, I was like, if you need to just say Happy Mother's Day to my mom.
Hey, not Happy
And
Father's
then
Day to
it's Father's Day. It's like, okay, I know it's Father's Day, but Happy Mother's Day to my mom. My mom is a mother and a mother.
Not a mother and a father.
Not a mother and a father.
Yeah,
Please
it can
do
never
not
happen.
Demote
Yeah.
me like that. I'm
Yeah.
great as a woman, and I
You're
enjoy
present.
being a woman, and I'm present.
That's true. Yeah.
So I really need for them to appreciate. Also, I want them to love men. That is why I encourage men to, because you know what? We're not all alone in this world.
Yeah.
Love is beautiful. Love is something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Love, look at your eyes.
Amen.
You know what I mean? There is something that not even coffee or a good dessert will give you that is better than love.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves to feel it. There are different kinds of love. Love from a man hits different.
Yeah.
And it needs to be acknowledged, it's appreciated, and it needs to be experienced.
Yeah.
And I want my children to experience that. I would love to see my grandchildren. So how are they going to do it if you
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing, because when you've healed, you are
I'm in my own.
Yeah. And how simme o ileng hore o healed. Ho ba le bothata, because you're not gonna say what you just said now, hore you want your kids to love men. Because when you're not healed, a lot of moms are not healed out there. Hence, they would say to their children, "Lenyalo, o tla bona wena. Ntatao ntse every time ha o thotse lerato. Aha, ntatao, o na nshia." And I think that's the thing, that when you are not healed, you pass on that hurt.
Some people cannot afford healing, Mapaseka.
How?
Healing, you do it, how do you say, organically. Nature helps you heal, but you also need professional help. And we really, it's underrated. But you know what I mean? But it's necessary, and that helped me and my girls. I mean, the moment I realized, Hori, there's a problem, and then that problem sort of broke when we went the route of divorce. Even from back then, we were already going through therapy. It was both me, the girls, and their nanny. Because remember, the nanny is the household entity.
The manager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she needs to be okay so she can look after my highest entity. My children, look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She takes care of the most important part of my life, and I needed for her to be okay. So look into that. And a therapy really does not need to be expensive. The church, these days, when I'm telling you, you cannot trust your friends, because you're not sure if, when you say confidentiality, it stays like that. You know what I mean? But where you can find trust, try and find help.
Yeah.
Talk more to people. That, you can't heal on your own.
No, you can't.
We need each other.
Yeah.
And to talk about it, to talk about it more, and share our pain. I went through the most, Mapaseka. I didn't just get here. I had to break. I had to cry. You grieve a relationship when you get out of it. It's like death.
It's like death.
You go through all the 7 stages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the why me, and it's the what did I do? What could I have done better? And yeah.
Why is it happening to me?
Yeah. Oof.
Why is it happening to me?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think, when you speak about the divorce, I remember when I went through my divorce, my helper, it affected her so much.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that she should go for therapy. You know what I mean? Because I didn't think, I thought it's my... Hey, Kim, I thought it's my... But this woman has lived with us for 5 years.
Yes.
And the breakup and especially about when they're watching the kids, it really, and I didn't think, I should also go with her through therapy because I saw what it did to her. It felt like someone died.
Because the like I said, when a relationship dies, mapaseka, it's the same as when a human being dies.
Yeah.
It's the same experience.
Yeah.
Because this is you don't just get in a relationship one foot out. Nobody gets married to divorce.
No.
And already it's a disappointment that then affects everything else more life in your house, which you then need to recover and have more confidence in yourself. But first you gotta break.
Yeah.
If you don't allow yourself to break, you carry that burden throughout your life. Then you'll come to your kids and say, men are horrible. Marriage, we don't want, we don't want talks like that. And they only come from a person, they have not really given attention to the amount of pain they are feeling.
And I think with this therapy thing and talking for our parents is not the same.
Yes.
My mom doesn't want to talk to anyone about her problems. You know what I mean? But because my dad broke my mom so much, my mom is still hurt and my dad is gone. But
And
she's
now
still like I wanna snap as a high fella. Just Wafrika. And I understand and I get it. But I've also tried my best not to take it from her. Now I forgave him. You know what I mean? I decided.
And maybe you forgiving him looks like betrayal.
It did. I remember this other time when I was in Bloom and I went to see him behind her back and someone pasta kwete le pasta. Hey, re bone dintle ko pasta kwete mama ka ya. Mamfulela. Uno tswile mo o go ya shopong ka ntlo bona papa hao. I was like, oh my God. And I get it. And I'm like, that's when I realized healing is important because I don't want to walk around with that.
Yeah. Because I
pain.
think my mom, rest her soul. I remember for the longest time I thought Papa ko tlhokofetse. Because I would ask, like I want to know.
Everyone has a dad. Wow,
even before I even know where my mom lived, because for the longest time I didn't know where my mom was. I only looked for my mom when now my hand in marriage was being asked for, and I said no. There's a person who lives and I could you know what I mean? But when I met my mom, I was like, and then Papa, man. When I met my dad, because literally my dad, how we met, it's. That's like a script on its own.
Wow.
He went through, I can't for the longest time, and he went through the channel to approaching that they do via email saying there's this child that is in your series. I think she's my daughter. Well, I'd like to talk to her. It's not tabaya yahosa. It's on a basis of father and child.
Sure.
That they do then forwards. I had already left Mobango at the time. He forwards me the email. He says, look at this. Look, if it disturbs you in any way, you're more than welcome to come and talk to me about it. Yes, responded to the emails, met the man. And yes, he's my dad. He looks exactly like me. Kafunela mom. Mama, do you believe in life after death?
Do you believe in life after death?
How
Hey, Ari.
Mama, kanwa bagain. Kira hape motho la go nna ke tlhakane le yena. Ara mohlomongwe be le bodiae wa tseba. So You
Yeah.
see, it's I think slowly reba diluted, and we learning new ways of approaching things as per generations.
Yeah.
Our kids are going to do by far better than us.
They will.
Because they're exposed to things we were not initially exposed to. They're going to find different ways of dealing with these things.
Yeah.
And this is our way.
It is
and
our
it's
way.
obviously different for our
Yeah.
parents. But with our parents, they understood, or you betrayed me, this is where it ends, we don't like each other, lines are drawn. Now, with our generation, co-parenting is being introduced.
Yes.
And I
And
like
it was never there.
Yeah, it was never there.
Parenting.
Either
Papa, how divorce,
yeah,
divorce. That's it.
Yeah.
But there's no relationship.
Either mohudisa or
Mohudisi,
mohudisi. You
yeah.
can't be half-half.
Yeah, ngwana ka se dule mo ka weekend, a dule kwa ka weekend, like how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any message you have for moms who are single moms like us, who are... No, Mara, I'm not a single mom with...
You're not a single mom?
What is a single mom?
I'm a mom. Yeah, a single
You know,
mom.
when you... Because Nema's dad is very present.
Mm.
So I don't feel like I'm a single mom.
But my children don't have a present dad, but I still don't regard myself as a single mom. I'm a mom. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Got you.
I asked for these children.
Yeah.
And and please may they not be hospital bound. Enjoy in the best way I can. And I'm enjoying those girls. I mean, I'm quite sure about that. Like, you know, that's, we have a very enjoyable relationship. Our fights are respectable fights. And I try to treat them in a way that I want them to treat me. Man, language isn't right. Yes.
Yeah.
So my approach, if you're asking me what message would I have for moms,
Yeah.
treat someone how the way you'd like to be treated. They cannot offer you something they haven't observed.
Yeah.
How chikangwana skare le ka ditsebe, or yes. You don't want to hear it, so don't give it. Don't dish it out. Hlompha ngwana hao, o tlo hlompha. O tlo hlompha la o steng, or you will be able to trust them even in your absence.
Yeah.
And trust hore tso mo rutileng tsona.
Yeah.
O tla dula di hopola ko strateng even when the world becomes tempting. And when they do make their mistakes, because they should, just bring them back ka lerato and respect.
Yeah.
Hona le ntho ela ya hona le batswadi ba shapang bana nna ke shape bana. Hona le batswadi ba shapang bana, they know. But that thing ya wa tseba hore mang ha shapa o shapang ka re hloile motho.
Yes.
Mang one shapa mara they still run back to you because they understand, or it's a spank of love.
Yeah.
So those are, let's be mindful. Our children are super sensitive. There's two ways. You either have them or you lose them.
Yeah.
And it's entirely up to what you dish out.
Yeah. And then a message for moms. Not looks like moms, individuals. Mosadi, onalembana, na nokina ko ya high. You know, they're in their 40s.
Like you, baby. No, you're not in the 40s.
Yes, guys, but like you can like message for our sisters out there who are now maybe bana ba se ba hodile, they're trying to think, oh, should I date? Should I start dating?
Bona, itswa. Live this life.
Yeah.
Tsamaya, inwa savana, mapase ka tla o seta. Go out. If you're still on the dating phase, go out.
Yeah.
Meet people. O ska be a burden to your children. Suthela bana. O lo dlala lethaka tsa hao. And how we sebeleditse tšhelete e je. Ha bana ba le teng bona ba rate, but they don't run your life. Be the first example ya ho bontsha bana hore bophelo bona, that life is for the living. You're not going to be able to do it when you're dead.
Yeah.
Do it now while you're still alive and enjoy every moment.
Yeah.
Make your mistake, Emma, we tlhotlhore ngwana kwa hae.
Suguma mzalwane. Ah, yes. And advice for someone like me, my child is 7. Any tips?
Saboni ntena akere habale, I always say 0 to 2 haba robale. And then 2 to 4 ba ba le dichomi ba na le sa fitile ko imaginary friends.
No, o fetile.
Oh, o fitile.
Yeah, o fetile.
O ko 7.
Go 7, no, yeah.
I tloela ngwana e be ngwana man.
Yeah.
Tloela ngwana e be ngwana ha
Yeah.
fila hore yena o nyaka ho lo rola ko dusting mo tlohela a lo rola ko
Yeah.
dusting. Ke
Yeah.
kopa le tlohele ho nna ntse le
Tlhotlhora bana, o itletse pele, yes.
tlohela ngwana e be ngwana ha mosi olo o taboa a le ko mozwinking, it's okay, o tlo
Yeah.
roka
Yeah.
a tsamaya a lo tabola something else. Ha ngwala e tjegileng, it's okay. Spend the next 3 months o mo ruta ho ngwala a straight. Let them be children. Don't force them to live ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And the stages and Havana don't experience them the same. So know your child. Like you gave birth to them.
Yeah.
Know your child.
Yeah.
Umufenako hai hloka, but you don't have to be mother hen. Phila and udumella ngwana a bapale. It's not that hard.
Ne?
Nah. I hloke encyclopedia. I hloke Google.
Shoki, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really, like I said, you and your
That
daughters
sounds
just...
like thank you so much for having me.
I heard you. Very early in the morning. Thank you so much. And like I said, your relationship with your kids, from where I'm standing and seeing, it just reminds me of my relationship with my mom and my sister.
Man.
It's always been like the three of us against the world. It's beautiful. And I pray that God continues to give you what you have and the strength to raise them. You're raising beautiful girls, and Mudima of Ematla, abatlhonolofatse le bona.
Oh, thank you so much,
Thank
Mama
you.
Ganema.
Yes, thank
you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been
Ba
great.
bolelle ba subscribe, tell
Ne
them.
re chata, and ke kopa le subscribe. Bonang hona le bele, ore ping, hona le subscribe, ore
Subscribe.
ping.
Yeah.
Let's just sit and talk. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep. Let's just sit and talk and try to figure out this life thing and just live it.
Period.